Welcome to the castle, everybody. This is Nightsaber Z42, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Armaments of Legacy. New options for using magical weapons, armor, and spellcasting foci for characters of any level. And this was written by Rich Lescouflair, with some interior art by Aaron Lee, Joyce Moreira, and a lot of stock images from Wizards of the Coast. And so we have a nice introduction chapter, or not really chapter, because this book doesn't really break it off into sections, but it kind of explains how to incorporate legacy items in your game. And basically, a legacy item is an item that your characters can acquire that has, I would say, some sort of a sentience to it because they level up with you. And so basically, this section is just a lengthy explanation of saying for each tier that your characters progress to, your weapons also level up. So that would be tier 1, which is level 1 through 5, tier 2, 6 through 10, tier 3 would be 11 through 15, and tier 4 would be 16 through 20. So you can also choose your origin for that weapon or item. There's bonds, and there's that are broken down into campaign, and then there's character legacy bonds, which is dependent upon character growth, which is an interesting way of separating that bond, but it totally makes sense. So there's different types of legacy items that you can acquire. So there's weapons, there's staffs, and I believe foci are the three main ones, but I'm pretty sure there might be more. So the way it works is you choose a legacy item. So let's take the battle focus, for example. While holding this focus, you gain a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls. In addition, you ignore half cover when making a spell attack. That's what you get right off the bat. When you upgrade to the next tier, either 5th level or higher, you also get the bonus to attack rolls increases to +2. The master tier, which is 10th level and above, would be the bonus to attack roll increased to +3. And then when you finally get to 15th level, your weapon also upgrades to, while holding the focus, you can use action to regain 1 spell slot of the highest level you can cast. You can't use this property again until you finish a long rest. So these items level up as you do, as the character does, and they eventually unlock some really powerful abilities. And so there's quite a lengthy list of different items that you can get. So, for example, for weapons, we have a charger weapon, a defender weapon, a demolisher weapon. So all of these different categories or tiers or different weapon sets actually do different things that are meant to complement your character, basically. And that's a really interesting and a really good way of putting it out there. And so you also get, I believe, armor as well. So weapons, armor, foci, and staffs, and shields. And so I do like that this is a really simple way of expanding your weapons. Let's say that you are doing a campaign that's very item based, like The Legend of Zelda would be a perfect example. The Master Sword, that would be a legacy item that as the character who has the Master Sword levels up, your sword also gets more powerful. That's how I would incorporate that. Or maybe that this was an item that has been passed down for generations, or this is a weapon that you found that belonged to a hero long ago, and it's the item needed to defeat the Lich King or something. And this would definitely be something that you could incorporate into your campaign and get a lot of value for. By the way, this was $4.90 something on Drive Through RPG or DM's Guild, so it's quite cheap for what you're getting. And this supplement runs at about 19 pages, and a bulk of it is just the different pieces of equipment that you can get, as well as the separation of the tiers. The last thing that is in this supplement are power grade variants and item sentience. And then we get into legacy artifacts. So let's say that you've reached a very high tier, possibly like level 20th. You can actually take an artifact's powers and incorporate that into your legacy item. Although they do mention that you should only limit this to possibly one, maybe two such items per campaign, because their artifacts are very powerful in 5th edition. And so that is actually it for the bulk of the content here. Now, the last part is about runestones, and I actually don't care for this at all. It's 2 pages long. This actually needed to be fleshed out a lot more, but I do like the concept. I like it more so than the complete armorer's guide to runestones. So basically what you're doing is, for runestones, the runestones are basically spells that have been imbued in like a gemstone. So you can use that spell basically at any time. I think that there are some limiting factors that need to be incorporated, and these 2 pages really don't explain a whole lot about that. They just say, yeah, you basically cast a spell into a gemstone and equip it to your item, and that's it. It really needed to be fleshed out a little bit more. But they do go on to say that that basically depending on the tier of your legacy item will also determine how many runestones it can equip. And you'll also need to equip a runestone of a higher level than your legacy item as well, which is very interesting. So overall, I thought this supplement was fairly basic. It offers a really good way to make your items, your equipment, a little bit better. And especially if you want something that's simple and easy to use. You don't want your players to be milling around for like minutes on what upgrade to get on their weapon. It's all there. You get to a certain tier, your weapon automatically levels up. It's that easy. It's that basic. I would totally leave out the whole runestone part unless you are willing to do the work into balancing it out and fleshing it out. But I do like the concept. Don't get me wrong. I really do like having spells be the runestones themselves. It's really interesting, but then again, we get into this whole thing about game balance. And so I think that would take a lot of experimentation to really flesh out the kinks in that one. But it did need to be fleshed out. 2 pages just wasn't enough. And the explanation that we got just really wasn't that good. So overall, I would kind of recommend this one to anybody that's looking for an easy and a quick way to make their equipment more interesting. That's all that I have for now. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Give this video a huge thumbs up to support this series, and subscribe if you would like to see more. I will see you guys in the next video.